Hello, and welcome to another episode of Hi, I'm Jason with Jason Pollock. I am not Jason. Join Jason and Justin back in the green room as they talk with some of their favorite folks from the entertainment industry. And now, the man you haven't been waiting for, Jason Pollock.
Hi. Oh, wow. Hi, I'm Jason. I just hit puberty again. Speaking of which, I'm so excited for our guest tonight. Before we bring her out, I need to just bring out Justin because I want to get this show going. I'm very excited to have this person on the show. Justin Gonzalez, my musical accompanist, my producer, my world, my fingernail clipper, urologist. You had to be my urologist that one day too. Remember that? That was crazy.
Hey, you know, it's I always love it when I can just give you the point. What can I say? Oh, that's proctologist. Excuse me.
That's next week. You promised me.
And I think this is all apropos for this show, because this our guest has been has not just done feature films, but she is also the 80s sweetheart of the adult film industry. But again, this is all just teaser. You're even going to get to see her, and I know that we are on Facebook and Twitch, but before we get too much farther underway, I want to do all of the housekeeping stuff, if that's okay with you, Jason.
Go for it.
I know this is the part that you hate most about the show, but if you are watching on Twitch, please do us an enormous favor. Pop on over to facebook.com/Jason and Justin. That is where we disseminate all of our information, so that way you know what's happening. So if you're watching on Twitch, you don't get any sort of heads up as far as what the next show is going to entail. So be sure to follow on Facebook so you get all that information. If you are on Facebook and not on Twitch yet, what's your problem? Go over to twitch.tv/HIJ podcast. Again, not only do
we already got people watching. Oh my God. Margarita, down to the Felt, Gary Allen. Hey, Margarita. Hi. Okay, good. Continue, Justin.
And thank you for all the call-outs. Please, thank you. But again, folks that aren't on twitch.tv/HIJ podcast, again, if you're just watching our little teasers that we do on Facebook, you are missing the bulk of what we do. We do, of course, Hi, I'm Jason on Wednesdays, but we also do our Saturday morning shorts, what we also call the Morning Wood. And we also pop on periodically throughout the week just for us to banter and hang out with our community. So, again, if you're not on twitch.tv/HIJ podcast, you're not seeing all of the good stuff. Also, if you want to see some of our finished products, head on over to youtube.com/user/superjpo711. You could also just search in the search bar on YouTube, Hi, I'm Jason, and you will find our finished products. If you enjoy what we do and you want to show your patronage to what it is that we do, feel free to pop on over to our digital tip jar. You can tip the podcast at Venmo, and all you have to do is search @ Jason-Pollock-2. And of course, we want to say a special shout out to our wonderful channel that we are on, Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling. Here's their total lineup for the week. Please follow them today at Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling. On Sundays, we have The Beacon of Insignificance. On Mondays, we have Jokes, Smokes, and Storytelling. Tuesday...
They can read. All right.
I think you just hate hearing my voice at the end of the day.
I love your voice. That's soothing.
Lies. Tuesday, we have Comedy Therapy. Maybe you need to tune in for that, Jason. Wednesdays, early, just before us, we actually had our channel's namesake, Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling, with the wonderful Mark Riccadonna and Richie Byrne. Then Wednesday evenings, you have Hi, I'm Jason with Jason Pollock. On Thursdays, you have Behind the Bits. And then right after that, you have Dystopia Tonight with our good friend John Poveromo. Now, Friday, we don't have this up there, but earlier in the day, you have the Comedians Round Table, which,
and don't forget Night Meds. Today, they premiere.
Oh, my goodness, that's right. Today, also, my goodness, we have 3 shows to get you over the hump. That's amazing. So we had, I think, Night Meds was... So it was Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling first. Then I think it was, 4 to 5 was Night Meds. And then 7 to 8 is us.
And tomorrow on Main Street, or it's
Or
a
Friday.
roundtable discussion with Jim David, Friday. Don't forget to tune that in. Tune into that.
And is that the Comedians Roundtable?
Comedians Roundtable.
And then in the evening, we are at 4 to 5. We have our good friends from the left coast doing Main Street. So again, and it's comedy and humor and entertainment of all sorts. So just make sure you follow at Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling. No matter what day you pop on, there is something for you.
And don't forget Chris Tapetta on Main Street with Gary Allen. Just reading the comments. And
yes, thank you.
Now let's bring out our guest, shall we? Are you ready?
Are you ready?
I am ready. I'm so ready. My wife didn't get any this morning. Sorry, Mom. I know she's listening. I had to save it. I had to save all my energy up. Speaking of hump day, it's a perfect guest for that. Speaking of getting through puberty, this is the woman who got me through it, thick and thin. Sorry, Mom. I know you're watching.
I just thought he liked his bed sheets starched.
Oh, I'm so disturbed now. She's done everything from mainstream movies. She's an artist. She's a classic adult film star and a brilliant actress at that. Please give a nice welcome, everybody. It's so weird not having a studio audience, but Ginger Lynn.
Woo! Hello.
Thank you for being here, Ginger.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited, and I didn't get to rub one out or get any myself this morning either. So
we're in this together.
I've got all my energy stored up as well.
Awesome. Oh, I'm so glad. We will get through this. We'll get through this.
But I did see your wife, and she's pretty hot. And I'm just saying that, if you guys want a three-way,
you heard it. This is recorded. You heard it right here live. Oh, thank you, Ginger. God bless. Forget Venmo. That does it. That's the best gift. And yesterday was her birthday. That was a birthday present for her.
Oh, yesterday was her birthday present, or was her birthday?
It was her birthday. Yes.
Oh, tell her I said happy belated birthday.
Laura, our other crush, wishes you a happy belated birthday.
So real quick, we already have a great question. Love the art. Is that your work? But Ginger, we're not going to go into it just yet because, again, if you want to enjoy the conversation with the Ginger Lynn, my friends on Facebook, please make the transition over to twitch.tv/drinks, jokes, and storytelling right now, because we are going to say au revoir, adieu, auf Wiedersehen. We are saying goodbye to Facebook, and we will be back momentarily to enjoy a wonderful conversation again with the Ginger Lynn. Thank you so much, and we will see you back in just a second.
Welcome back, everybody. Now, Ginger is a great artist, and that is one of her works back there. Bucket List just asked, or Down to the Felt just asked. Sorry.
Yeah, this is a big piece. This I don't know how big she is. 4 foot by 3 foot.
Wait, Ginger, you're fading in and out. I'm sorry.
Oh, my voice is fading in and out.
You're okay now. We got you.
Oh, I think when I looked back at TJ, you lost me.
Oh, yes, I hear you beautifully.
Okay, good.
And you show your works in galleries too, don't you?
I've done one gallery showing, and I live in Las Vegas, and I was so excited, and I was sharing a booth with another artist, and she had to run out and do something. And I've lived here for 6 years now. It's the one and only time that it's torrentially rained, and my booth was outside. So I'm outside with my friend's art, my art, and the water, when it floods out here, it comes fast and furious. We had like 3 foot high water just coming up over the curb of the street, flooding us out. So all of my artwork, I saved everybody else's first and got it inside of a building and saved most of mine as well. But I don't really like doing shows, and the reason is I'm too sensitive, and art is so personal.
It's personal for you, yeah.
Extremely personal. And if somebody went, "Oh, I hate that," or "It sucks," or "You're not an artist," it would just break my heart because I love to paint. I just finished a painting, two of them actually. Sid Haig, Captain Spaulding
Yes.
from The Devil's Rejects. Yeah, that I've got paint all over my hands.
Well, that looked. I got to tell you, the scene in Devil's Rejects with you and him looked very real.
You know, that's when I have a funny story about that. So I was cast in the film, and 2 weeks prior to that, I'm a martial artist. I've practiced for 22 years, and I was sparring in my dojo, and I blew out my left knee, completely blew it out. So my agent called Rob and said, "Ginger's, she can't run." That's all my agent said to Rob. So I show up on the set, and I've got a cast on my left leg from my thigh to my ankle, and I'm on crutches. And we're shooting in this tiny little, looked like a meth house. And there's the great big giant wind tunnels that the air conditioning comes in. And they couldn't get me out of the set because it was so crowded. So here I am wearing a little red corset, nothing else, no panties, no bra. And the crew are kind of passing me down to the end of the room. And then my introduction to Sid Haig was plopping my puss right onto his dirty tidy whities. Hi, nice to meet you.
That's how I introduce myself to everybody. That's how Justin. Yeah, exactly.
But I've always promised Sid, if you watch the movie and you slow mo and you freeze frame at the right time, Sid's boys are hanging out.
I noticed that. That's why I thought this looks real.
Everybody pauses it and they want to know if it's real. But I promised Sid that I would never fucking tell. So
I know you got to honor that. Otherwise you don't want to get haunted by Sid Haig.
No, not at all.
Yeah, we got to meet him a few times at the cons, and he was so cool.
Isn't he he was the nicest man ever. I adored him.
Yeah. Oh, he was great. Speaking of very nice at the cons, I met you twice now, and you've been just not an ounce of ego about you. You were just so cool and appreciative. You were really kind.
I love doing conventions. I love my fans. I love meeting them. And when I was younger, I went to see Gloria Vanderbilt. Was at one of the local department stores, and I went to get an autograph. And I walked up, and her assistant said, "What's your name?" And I told her my name, and she wrote it and gave it to me. Never said a word. And I had waited in line for like 2 hours. And I was so excited. And I always thought, if I ever get to be famous, I will never, ever, ever be rude to my fans. I'll always appreciate them, and I will never treat them that way. So Gloria Vanderbilt taught me that. She does not have that skill.
That's what you took away from it. No, I don't blame you. Wait, is she Anderson? Am I getting it wrong? Is she Anderson Cooper's mom, or am I thinking of somebody else? I'm probably speaking from ignorance.
I'm not sure. She designed clothing and.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but I don't know if she's got a famous son or not. Probably.
Yes. Gary Allen said yes. That's Anderson Cooper's mother.
Oh my God, that's Anderson Cooper's mother?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Also, Gary Allen asked, where in Las Vegas? Because he lived in the Green Valley Ranch area.
I'm in Henderson. I'm 10 minutes from him.
There you go.
10 minutes, right around the corner. So does he still live there?
He said lived, probably.
Live. Okay, I don't know if he still lives here, because maybe I'll run into him.
Caxter said, "I'm here for the lady." Hi, Caxter.
Hi, baby.
I think we're all here for the lady. I mean, let's be honest.
Wait a minute, I'm here for you guys.
Well, thank you. Yeah, people said, "How did you manage to get Ginger Lynn?" I said, "I asked. It was that easy."
Yeah, I like you. You've always been nice to me, and I thought it would be a fun. We'd have a good time. Thought we would have a nice, fun time together. So
that's awesome. Well, thank you.
So
Justin, I'm just going to relish in this moment.
So yeah, let's give it a nice 5 count for Jason to relish that moment. But I have to ask. So how did you get started in the adult film industry? I mean, or in acting in general? What came first? Was it acting? Was it adult films? What was like your inspiration for doing this?
The song Mr. Bojangles. Do you remember that song?
I
Yes.
do.
Okay, when I was a little girl, I had a record player in the garage, and my dad would clear the garage out. There'd be no cars in there. We had a little uh, bench seat and a record player, and I would put on plays or musicals in the summer. And Mr. Bojangles was the first one that I ever did. And I had my 2 backup dancers, and I sang and I danced and I did a little comedy, and I charged everybody a nickel to come see it. I had my little tin can. So I've always been an exhibitionist. I've always been somebody who likes being seen, who likes being in the public, who likes entertaining. So it first started with that. Then I decided I was going to be a rock and roll singer, except I can't sing. So that didn't work out very well. Although I do have a 12-inch single
No way.
Nice.
called Fantasy World. Yeah. The story behind Fantasy World is I really can't sing, and so they had this backup singer come in. And when you're listening to the record, it's a 12-inch single. It sounds there's this woman with this just hearty, beefy, beautiful voice, kind of Janis Joplin kind of a voice. And so what they did was they made her the lead, and I'm in the background on during the chorus going, Fantasy World. That's about it. So I suck at singing. So I moved to California to visit a family member, or I came to visit one and then never went back. And I answered an ad in the Orange County Register it said figure models wanted, $500 to $5,000 per day. I'm 5 foot fun, which is like 5'2". So I knew that figure modeling was not I didn't have to be tall or thin or beautiful. I could just be a regular girl. And so I went into my agent's. I called up the agent's number, and he set up an appointment for me the next day. And that same day, I got booked by 2 different photographers to shoot for Penthouse. And I ended up shooting with Susan Randall.
Wow.
Susan Randall, I know that name.
She's my mentor. She's been my guiding light throughout my adult career. She's just been a really special lady to me. But I ended up shooting for probably 100 magazines. I've still got my day runner. Do you remember day runners?
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I still have them from back in the 80s. And so I know who I worked for, how much I made, who I worked with. I have everything that I've saved from those days, all of my little memories. So I did the magazines for 3 months, and my agent kept saying to me, do you want to do commercial? And I'm from Rockford, Illinois, and I'm thinking toothpaste, yay! Yes, I want to do commercial, and I didn't realize that commercial meant sex on film. So when I did realize it, I said to him, I'm not that kind of a girl. I had the same stereotype image of women in the adult film industry as a lot of people did back then. They were hookers, they were drug addicts, and I said, I'm just not that kind of a girl. And so for months, he kept asking me, and different people would ask. And finally, there was a day that I met a girl in his office who was beautiful and intelligent and articulate. And I took her to lunch, and I picked her brain. I said, do you like what you do? How do you do it? What do you charge? What are your rules? What don't you do? And I just picked her brain, and I walked back to my agent's office. I said, okay, I'm going to do it, but I want script approval. I want cast approval. I want $1,000 per scene, unless it's anal, and that's $5,000. And he's on the floor laughing. He is rolling on the floor. He's like, this the girl, it was Jacqueline Lawrence, and she was a big star at the time. And so he said, that's what, stars don't even get that. And I said, well, then I'm not going to do it. and I didn't until a company came to me. A man. Do you remember the Gong Show?
Yes, love the Gong Show.
The Gong Show. Well, there was the tall blonde named Svetlana that used to hit the gong.
Mm-hmm.
And Svetlana and her husband were doing 2 feature adult films shooting on the island of Kauai.
She did an adult film?
No, she directed it.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
Yeah, no, she directed it. And she and her husband did. And so I got to fly to Kauai. I made my first 2 movies on the island. I chose my leading man. I chose they would show me pictures of people sometimes, like the girls in the film. I couldn't meet all of them, but I did get to meet my Jerry Butler, and I met all of the girls on the plane. And
I remember Jerry Butler. Yes.
Yeah, he called me an overrated pipsqueak.
So nice.
I know. That's what he wrote in his book. And I think he was mad at me because we got engaged. I actually fell in lust with him. He carved my name and our names in a necklace out of seashells. And, we were just in love. He bought me an engagement ring during the filming. And we got back. He had to fly back to LA before I did. He lived in New York, but he had a shoot in LA. And so when I arrived, he was waiting for me at the airport. And it was a whole different person. The Jerry Butler that I fell in lust with was the character Arthur. He's a really good actor. And he had no accent. He was just this handsome, buff, good-looking guy that was fun to fuck. And then when I saw him at the airport, he's got on like a dirty, stained wife beater, and he's got this New York accent. He was kind of sleazy. He was adult. He wasn't.
So he fit the stereotype that you imagined.
Yeah, a little bit, but I loved him. I loved him, but he wasn't the kind of guy that I would marry. And there's no kind of guy that I would marry. In all honesty, I've been engaged 9 times.
9 times.
I wear a ring. I've given all the rings back. I can't do it. I'm the original runaway bride. I
never thought I'd get married. I've been, not that people are here for my story, but I'll just share it. I waited 38 years to meet my wife. I knew she was casually at Barnes & Noble. She was a manager there. I didn't know she was the one until we started talking, and she told me she has a thing for old Jewish comedians. And I was like, and you look like this? Oh my God.
Hello.
I realized the key to a happy relationship is to marry your most perverted best friend.
I'm not marrying him, but I've been with him for 12 years. So I have a
Nick, right?
Nick, I've been with Nick for 12 years now.
Wow.
Yeah. I have, and the one thing that I wanted to do something special for him because he is the one for me. And so I thought, what can I give him that I can't give to anybody else and that will be special? And so I call myself a born-again virgin. Since I had sex with him for the first time 12 years ago, I have not been with another man since.
And, good for you.
And it just...
What about woman?
It's just, yeah, that way, I belong to him now.
Good for you. That's great.
And he's sick and twisted and kinky, almost as bad as I am. And I'm pretty sick and twisted and kinky.
I don't think my mom's watching on Twitch, so she was on Facebook, so I could say, so are we. It's great.
Isn't it though?
A healthy way to be.
It really, really is.
Marriage is overrated.
Yeah, John Poverono, one of our dear friends.
Very funny comedian.
Who is the host of Dystopia Tonight on Thursdays, says marriage is overrated. Also, Gary Allen said a little bit ago that he knows Erica Boyer.
Oh, well, she's dead.
Oh, he knew Erica Boyer.
He knew her. Yeah, Erica was. Oh, I loved Erica. I loved working with women that liked working with women. I'm not gay for pay. I'm completely bisexual. I love women. I'm about 65% men, percent women, or is it 35%?
It's math. I don't know.
No, I don't want to do math. I like men a little bit better than I like women. And now I forgot what I was going to say.
Because
About
you started thinking
Erica.
about
Oh,
women
Erica
again.
Boyer. So Erica was one of those women that she worked out a lot. She had an athletic type body, and she was so into women that I had like some of my favorite besties. And a lot of times we would vie for top position. So we'd be flipping and flopping over on top of each other and upside down. And I'm going to go here. No, we just had a blast together. She's one of my all-time favorite girls to work with. And unfortunately, she was hit by a car several years ago and
Who?
didn't
Oh
make
my
it. Yeah, really sad.
horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Well,
sorry.
didn't I bring that down? Sorry.
Yeah,
Go from here.
well, you definitely didn't live up to the stereotype of the average adult film star back then. You kind of have the Meg Ryan thing going on.
Thank you. And you know what? A lot of the girls didn't live up to it. Uh, there were A, B, and C girls, just like there are in mainstream films. You know, there's A, B, and C girls. And when I walked into my agent's office, he had pictures of the A girls on top of, his top models, Seika, Marilyn Chambers, just everybody that was somebody was on the wall. And I wanted so badly to be a wall girl. And I finally did get to be a wall girl.
You were like the ultimate wall girl. You and who did I have on my wall? I had Heather Thomas in a bikini. Remember her?
Oh,
Heather.
I do. I love Heather. I don't know how she is. Who is this from my old friend?
From your old friend Eddie.
It's Eddie
From
Brill.
the Comedy Store. Oh my God.
Oh wow.
Oh my God. Hi, Eddie. How are you, sweetheart? I haven't talked to you in a million years. I owned that house in 1986 to 90. So that was
In LA?
Yeah, I lived right above the Comedy Store. Like
no
2 blocks.
way.
Yeah.
Oh, how cool is that?
2 blocks up. So I was at the Comedy Store every night, every single night. And one of my favorite things or people that I met there, I met Sam Kinison. And Sam and I became very good friends. And Sam called me up one night and he said, I want you to come see me in Vegas, come to my show. And I'm like, my grandma's here. He said, bring your grandma. And I'm like, ah. And he goes, all right, I'll send Corey Feldman along. So I don't know why that was supposed to be a bonus.
That's just the sweet in the pot.
Yeah. Throw in a Corey for you. So I've got my grandma and Corey and myself. We're in the back of a limo driving to Las Vegas. And my grandma is doing bongs. My grandma is doing
Your grandma's doing a bong hit?
Did her first bong hit in the back
With Sam Kinison?
No, that I'm moving up to Sam. So she started her partying in the limo. By the time we get to Sam's suite, he was going on later. We got there early enough to spend some time with him. I'm socializing and talking to everybody. It was the 80s. We were all doing blow. Everybody, it was a party. And I suddenly realized I hadn't seen my grandma in like a half an hour. And so I'm looking everywhere. And my grandma is outside on the balcony smoking a joint with Sam Kinison. It was just, yeah. And then we went to the show, and Sam did a bit where he talks about pussy falling out of his pockets, or he used to. And my grandma was so drunk and so high at the time, she stood up and laughed. Literally stood up at the show, and then I didn't want anyone to know that it was me with her. But Sam made that very clear.
Was that the Charlie Sheen years?
The Charlie Sheen years were 90 to 95.
Oh, that was before. Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot about the 90s.
Yeah, well, and I met Charlie when I was doing Young Guns 2.
I forgot about that movie. What a classic.
Yeah, he wasn't in Young Guns 2, but Emilio was.
I was going to say Emilio was in that, yeah.
Yeah, and Lou Diamond Phillips and Christian Slater. I made my way through most of the cast on that movie. I did Christian, I did Lou Diamond Phillips, I did Charlie.
Wait a minute. At the same time or separately?
No, all separately. Okay. But Charlie was the last one, and he was the one that I stayed with. The others were just fun for the night. But I remember walking up to get the front desk, and I won't say the actor's name, but it was another really big actor on the set, and it just had his room number on it. It said his name and room number, and they handed it to me because people knew that I was sleeping around on the set. So it was like, okay, can I be next in line?
Why not? Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
I don't think I would have had the guts. I would have. Oh, she's doing everybody. I can't do it.
Yeah,
And I would have.
for me, it was like notches in my lipstick case. Everybody that I can say honestly that with the exception of 2 people, I have never been fucked. I've always been the fucker, not the fucky. If that makes any sense.
You're a take control kind of person.
Yeah, I am. But lately I've really gotten into being submissive.
Mm.
And, I like to be hogtied. I like to be spanked. I like to be choked. So I've just gotten into this little BDSM mode lately, which has been a lot of fun. My favorite thing is, can I talk about things like this on your show?
Yeah, as long as you don't.
You already are, so we're just holding on for the ride, my dear.
The bucket list says, who are the 2?
So Nick bought me this contraption. It's a dildo that's clear plexiglass with metal on 2 sides, and then there's another dildo that it fits into. So it's like you would have 2 cocks on one. But what you do with them, one goes in your pussy, one goes in your ass, and they're hooked up to electrodes. And so Nick is the only one that I let do that. I would never let anybody else.
You have to trust the person.
Yeah, you have to really trust a person to do any of the things that we do. But he has control of the electricity, and what it does is it pulls on your muscle, it makes it like a spasm, and so it literally pulls your orgasm right out of you. I just lay there and just come. I don't have to do anything. It's nonstop.
Is this thing cheaper than the Sibian? Because that's like $1,000.
This was $800.
Wow.
So yeah, it's not cheap.
But apparently it's worth it.
Oh, I fucking love it. It's one of my favorite toys ever. I have difficulty. I don't like the one on my butt so much because it's too tingly back there.
I'm gonna let you talk. I was about to say something, and I was like, "There's people who don't want to hear this about me."
I don't even know if
Jason, this is your conscience. Do not talk about you and your butthole.
No. Oh, okay. So I was having a threesome once, and I don't have nearly the experience, but the girl said, "Oh my God, your butt's so cute. Can I put my finger in it?" And I said, I can't do that. But then I thought, I heard it feels good. I said, go for it. And I was like, I didn't like the feel. It was like, am I going to poop? Am I not? Am I not? I was like, I'm getting too self-conscious. I can't pull it off. So I wouldn't be good porn. There's a few viewers, especially Big Gay Nick, who I have, who would try to encourage me to start my own OnlyFans, which some money would be great, I'm sure.
Oh, you would kick ass on there. You should have your own OnlyFans. I'll put things in your butt.
I think even more so now that you have just gotten an unofficial, maybe official endorsement from Ginger Lynn that the Jason Pollock OnlyFans endorsed by the Ginger Lynn. Yeah, I think you can.
Neurotic dad bod guy would be the
Well, if you get the finger up in there far enough and you hit the prostate, baby, it's all over. It's the most amazing thing. I've had men that I've done it to, and it's like touching their G spot, and it makes you come right away. So you didn't let her get up in there enough to get to the right spot, but we'll work on it. Don't worry.
All right, thank you. I'm looking forward to.
And the shocked face from Polly Chaser, all the way from across the Atlantic.
Polly Chaser's listening from Amsterdam.
Yes. And Gary Allen actually had a wonderful question. Said, "Who was your favorite woman you have been with, and why?"
You know,
Why?
I'm gonna go with Christy Canyon. Christy
Oh,
Canyon.
she still looks beautiful.
Oh my God, she's gorgeous. I was the first girl that she'd ever had sex with. I was the first pussy she ever ate. I was the first girl that ever ate hers. And we did Playboy Radio together for 10 years. So we did our films together, and then we did radio together for another 10 years. And we're best buddies. Every other weekend, we're at one or the other's houses shooting our stuff. We shoot a lot of stuff together for OnlyFans. We get a little girl action there.
What's your OnlyFans page in case people who haven't followed you want to watch?
It's onlyfans.com/blame it on Ginger. And the reason it's blame it on Ginger is because when I started working at Playboy, they had a 3-page contract. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this. I'm like, all right. Well, there were a hell of a lot of things that weren't on the list that they never thought of. So, like year 2, the contract's like 30 pages long. Episodes longer and longer because they're like, no, you cannot sit in a can of Alpo. You cannot have a drumstick up your butt. I used to play this game called Guess What's Up Ginger's Ass? And I would blindfold you and put like a chicken leg or a Tootsie Roll or whatever I could get in there that would stick out far enough that you could eat it, and I would make you eat it out of my butt. So Playboy wasn't very happy with me, and so but whenever we got in trouble, well, it was always me. I never showed up to the meetings. Christy always showed up, and I was just like, I'm not going to go in and get yelled at. It's not my thing. So they would everybody from the entire studio, producers, everybody would go in and say, "You did it." So it became blame it on Ginger. So anytime you do anything you're not supposed to, or you get caught doing something that you shouldn't get caught doing, blame it on Ginger.
Blame it on Ginger. That would be a great shirt.
It would be.
That's it, the merch. And for those of you that are just tuning in, we are talking with adult film icon, superstar, and just amazing actress, artist, and human, Ginger Lynn. We were just talking about her OnlyFans, and Gary Allen, the just consummate showbiz interviewer, gave us another wonderful question.
Okay.
So I have to share it. What would you change about the biz if you could?
I would make the minimum legal age to perform 21.
That's reasonable.
I just think, I made my first film. My birthday's December 14th. I started my first film on December 9th. At 20 years old. So I turned 21 while I was filming.
Your film career is Sagittarius, like me. Great.
Yeah. And I just, I believe that I know it's a wonderful industry. I had the best time ever. I grew up in the golden era of porn where we had everything was shot on 35 millimeter. We had 120-page scripts. We had caterers. We had makeup artists. We, fly 50 people to Hawaii to make a movie. And it was just a wonderful, wonderful time.
That's a great thing to hear.
I think you have to, first of all, you have to have the right mindset. You need to be a really positive person and have a little bit of a thick skin, because there's going to be ramifications and families finding out and all those different things that happen. So it's not something that I would recommend for just anybody. And I think that young girls grow up today wanting to be in porn. Whereas when I was growing up, it was like, only bad girls did porn. And now, a lot of girls want to get into it. There's 1,000 of them at any given day in the industry. Whereas when I was in it, there were 50 of us, and that included the crew. There was just, if you watch my movies, I'm with like 6 guys, the same 6 guys over and over and over again. So I think that the girls should be a little more mature, because they're making a decision that will have an impact on their lives for the rest of their lives. So I think it's time to think about it and grow up a little bit before you jump into it. It's just way too young.
I think it's something that we were talking about off camera. Also, is the idea that I think, especially when you're 18 and you're just thinking about the fun of having sex
And getting paid for it.
But the reality of it is it's not show fun, it's show business. In fact, Gary Allen, I was mentioning, was telling a story the other day about being invited to a shoot, and about how numbing it was, because it was just okay. It was cut. You have this person, you know.
Hold on, wait, real quick. I'm sorry, but Eddie Brill said goodbye. He said he's still in touch with Christine. Good to see you again.
Hi, Eddie. Love you.
Thank you so much for stopping in.
Sorry to interrupt, Justin.
No. Thank you for catching that, because I again, you know me, I sometimes let the comments go by, and I know Bucket List also said that this sounds like a good bit for Justin and Jason. Can they use it, Ginger?
Blame it on Ginger.
Absolutely.
But the idea though, and again, when you watch the films from your time, you know, the time when you were, you know, first starting out in the 80s and all that, there was, like you said, there was a 120-page script, there was a story, you had to act. There was a business.
The names were funnier, even, you know, Beverly Hills Cox.
Well, and here's when I stopped doing porn and I decided to get into mainstream, I needed a headshot and a resume, but my resume was all adult movies. So I put down, I was really in Beverly Hills Cox, but I put on my resume, I was in Beverly Hills Cop. I was in Blame It on Ginger, but I said that I was in Blame It on Rio. I was in Goonies, but I wrote on my resume, I was in the Goonies. So I had the most ridiculously made up resume. And then I had an audition for Beverly Hills Cop Part 2. And I went in and I'm cringing because, you know, my agent sent them my resume and it said Beverly Hills Cop. And they're like, you weren't in Beverly Hills Cop. No, but it looked really good on my resume and it got me in here.
One of my favorite titles was Mommy Blows Best. I was just looking at
Yes.
They put so much more thought into the name. Now it's like I Came in Mommy Part 23.
Exactly. We'll fish up your butt 284. There's so much. I love that we have the internet. I love that porn has more freedom today than it did back then. And there's a lot of and whatever your kink is, you can find it. But there's some things that I don't understand how they are sexual. Like I had a guest on one of my shows, and her thing, she would stretch her butthole out with this appliance, this doctor-looking thing, and then put live goldfish in her butt, and then
wow,
and then poop them out. You know, they die.
No.
Yeah, swear to God. And I'm going, okay, where is the? I don't get it. How is that sexual? I mean, is that a kink? Is that but I mean, I'm open to whatever you're into, but I'm not going. I love animals, but not that way.
No. Animals. I draw the line at animals.
Animals and children.
Oh God, yeah. No animals, no children, no. I'm not good with the whole water sports thing. I've never done that.
Oh, you gotta love water sports. Is wonderful. It's warm. What my favorite part of water sports is, I like to get in the bathtub and I put on a white shirt, and then I like Nick to stand over and pee on me, starting at my pussy and going up toward my mouth, but not. It's kind of landing on my neck because I don't really want it in my mouth. And then just the t-shirt getting wet, and it's warm, and it just it feels good to pee. It
feels great to pee.
It feels really good.
All my anxiety goes away when I'm going to the bathroom.
There you go. So you should give it a shot. I'm telling you, Jason.
I don't know if the wife would go for it, but That's really that would have to be a consensual thing.
Oh, absolutely. No, everything that you do sexually has to be consensual.
Oh, of course, especially peeing on someone.
Well,
Yeah, it's not something you just
No.
do.
well,
My wife
Although-
heard that line.
Although I went to a dinner party at Suze Randall's house one night, and I was sitting next to this beautiful little Asian girl, and she was with her. She was probably 18 or 19, and her husband was probably 50. And so I'm sitting next to her, and she's touching my legs and rubbing me underneath the table, and I'm turned on, but I'm at a dinner party. Ends up while dessert was being served, we were over in the windowsill getting it on, but I ended up going back with Donald and Gina. For their names, I went back to their place for the weekend, and I remember Gina was sitting on my face, and she started to pee, and I flipped the fuck out. It was just so not cool, and she,
No, you can't
yeah,
do that.
she just you don't just pee on somebody. That's just not something. You gotta agree to everything.
I had a model friend who was living in New York, and she was hailing a cab. This guy said, "You want to split a cab?" She said, "Okay," because they were going to the same location, and he said, "Okay, I'm just gonna throw it out there. I want to shit on your face," and she said, "No, thank you, but no." Like very what is he thinking? You got to ask, put it out there. Somebody's gonna say yes.
You know what? There is a big. I have a fan on Sex Panther that I communicate with a lot, and I do special videos and things, and he is into me spitting on his face, degrading him, calling him names, and his fantasy is to eat my poop.
Oh yeah, see, no, I draw the
And
line.
it's just like the poop is not sexy. There's nothing sexy about it. No. Stay away from there.
Nothing. I can't. I've never watched the Two Girls One Cup. I can't do it.
I have no desire. I
can get. I mean, I could get very kinky, but I draw the line.
Yeah, everybody. You have some lines.
Yeah. Oh, Polly Chaser posted a fetish of his.
Yeah, I want to get to a couple of the comments. So this is, I think you're converting Jason to the water sports. And this isn't the first time that we've talked about, especially urine in the shower, that you won't even pee in the shower, Jason, that might be the gateway into you trying water sports. Just pee in the shower.
Oh, God.
Water sports it is. And then Polly Chaser wanted to share with us that I have this weird fetish where I pee in the toilet.
Oh,
I know I'm weird.
I'm not into that.
Oh, and this, I think this was in reference to the Two Girls One Cup, and that is disgusting. Yeah,
yeah, it's just gross.
That was a bit something. And I again, Gary Allen with the great interview questions. He's beating us all to it because we're just enjoying the conversation with you. And of course, I'm glad that I got the question in about the genesis of you getting into the industry. But
yeah, I think you got one question in, and
it was a good one, but we went off. But Gary Allen keeps sharing these great questions, and I love this one. That when all is said and done, who is Ginger Lynn?
I'm the girl next door. You know what? What's the Alana's more? There's a song. I'm a bitch. I'm a lover. I'm a mother. I'm goddess.
I know the song. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
know who sings
the song
it.
is called "Bitch," and I am all of those things. I'm very rarely a bitch. Only when it comes to financial things and dealing with, making business deals. And it's only because I'm a woman that I'm considered a bitch in that category. I've got my rules, I've got my rates, I've got, and I always have. But other than that, I'm the girl next door that loves life. I absolutely love life.
I don't know your feelings on. You remind me of another film star that my wife and I met, and they just clicked. Nina Hartley.
Oh, I love Nina. Tomorrow's her birthday.
No way. Oh yeah. That's when they met. They both we're talking about how they're a Pisces and they have so much in common.
Yeah.
It was just a surreal moment for me to see my wife hitting it off with Nina Hartley.
Oh, I bet.
Nina still looks just like you. She looks phenomenal still.
Oh my God, she looks fantastic. Her body is so rocking. She's just, and her face is stunningly beautiful.
Yeah.
There's Christy's aged really well. Nina's aged really well. A lot of the girls have. Some not so much.
Here. Laura just gave me this. This is a mug I had made for her.
Oh, hang on. Let me make you big, Jason.
Yeah, make him big. Hey, that's my job.
I am the show fluffer. What can I say?
That's me, Nina, and my wife.
That's brilliant. I love that.
I put it on a mug because it makes me happy to think about it.
That's so nice. And you're lucky that you met Nina. There's a lot of, most of the girls from my era have a really good attitude. You know, we did what we loved. We got paid for it. We were treated well. We got paid well. But there's a lot of girls that once they leave the business, they get bitter, and they, you know.
I've seen that. Some of them.
Yeah, and it's so sad. So I'm glad that you've met some of us nice ones that aren't bitter.
I gotta tell you, everyone I've met is so kind. They've been delightful.
And have they been basically women from my era, or?
Well, actually, no. A few of them. I met. Well, Marilyn Chambers was.
I loved Marilyn.
She was nice, but she didn't seem like the warmest person.
She wasn't warm and fuzzy, but I loved her. She was a broad. She was a broad. You know.
She seemed very tough. She seemed tough.
Yeah. Seika's the same way.
Yeah, I met Seika too. She was really nice.
But the Seika was known as the Ice Princess for the longest time. And I did a photo layout with her. Suze Randall shot it. And back then when you did photo layouts, you didn't really lick pussy. You didn't really, nothing was hardcore except for Puritan Magazine, or at least nothing that I posed for. And I remember I was in this pose, Seika was lying down, and I had my head lying on her thigh, and her pussy was just like right there. And so Suze would take photos, and in between every photo, I would get a little again. Seika never moved. She never made a noise. She never said anything. She just let me do it.
Wow.
I
was like that with Justin during our photo shoot for our
company. True. That's true. His head on my thigh.
Aww. Oh, can I get copies of those photos?
Absolutely.
For you? Absolutely. So Gary Allen, real quick, I just wanted to get back to the comments. He said, nice, and then he said, thank you, Ginger.
Oh, Gary, thank you.
And I think he's made sure to say thank you, because I think after you answering 3 of his questions, he came. But I also, real quick, because he came in late, but Polly Chaser asked, and of course it did something funky me there, is that a Herman Brood in the background, the painting? And so Ginger Lynn is an amazing artist as well. And what is your website again? It's
gingerlynnart.com.
There you go. So if you want to see more of Ginger Lynn's work, that's where you go.
This is my latest piece. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. I finished 2 pieces today, but this was my most recent until today. And
I can't wait to see the Sid Haig one.
I can show you. You want to see it?
Are you comfortable with that? Sure.
Yeah, I'm going to walk away for a second.
Okay.
That's fine.
We will talk amongst yourselves.
We'll.
Anyway, my experience in the adult film industry is very null. But who was it that asked? Bucket list experience asked Polly Chaser, is porn as big there as in America? Bucket list has never been to Amsterdam. Now, I've never been to Amsterdam either, but they have what's known as a very popular red light district there.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say, unless it's not porn that's as popular, it's just prostitution stuff.
Yeah, they're shutting it down. They just got a new mayor, and for right now, they have shut down the red light district.
Oh, wow. I guess because of Pollock.
And she's trying to get it so that you can't smoke pot in coffee houses anymore too.
You're kidding me! Why would you do that?
That's why do you go to That's why you go to Amsterdam.
Yeah,
you're not going for the fucking bikes.
No. All right, here is
Oh my God, how
one of
cool.
my Sid Higgs.
Captain Spaulding.
Captain Spaulding.
So
You made him
nice.
look more evil than he is.
Yeah, these are custom pieces for somebody that wanted me to paint Sid for them. So
Those are
these are
cool.
kind
Very
of creepy. He wanted it scary and creepy, so.
Yeah, those are like the Captain Spaulding face of nightmares.
Exactly. So there's my 2 pieces that I finished today.
Very cool.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm so impressed. That's awesome. So you do custom artwork?
I do. I've done several. I guess they'd be it's called boudoir paintings, where I've had men have sent photos of their wives. Like the last guy sent like 100 photos of his wife, and she was beautiful. She was a bigger girl and just voluptuous and beautiful and so fun to paint. And they're swingers, and so they've got a big nude painting of her lounging that I did of her. So yeah, I do customs when people ask for them.
That's great.
So, so right now, what, as far as, you know, your artistic expression, what are some of the things that are happening right now in the life of Ginger Lynn?
I've been insanely busy. I just finished a trilogy of films. It's called Lady Killer TV. And oh, you found it, Lady Killer TV. And so I just shot 2 weekends ago. We wrapped, and I'm in part 2 and in 3. And I play an 80-year-old woman. They put this makeup on that makes your face wrinkle and your neck and your arms. So I play, and they put age spots all over me. My hair's pulled back. I am the least attractive woman you've ever seen.
So you're really out of type there.
It was so fun, and
That must be exhilarating.
She was a nasty, foul-mouthed serial killer, and it was so much fun to play her. I loved it. So that I just finished, and I've got a film that I'm doing with Danny Trejo that we're starting.
Oh, I love it.
I love Danny too. I've known him for years, but we just we're supposed to start the 22nd. We just got moved up to April 1st. So I've got a film coming up with Danny, and then I've got a reality show in the works.
Reality show? Is it your reality show or?
I can't say anything about it. I have except that I've got it. Yeah, I've got to do not for an NDA, non-disclosure.
Yeah, non-disclosure agreement. Yeah. Okay. Well,
that's
something you like. It's got to be so hard to keep it a secret.
It really is. There's a lot of good stuff. And then I just got offered Monday a 1-day role as a nurse in a $67 million budget film.
Whoa!
I am so in. I have 3 lines. It's nothing, but
it's big to be
that big. Yeah, that's really exciting. Really exciting. And I did a documentary about a month ago, which was they did a 9-part podcast on Tracy Lords, and
I remember you don't get along with her so well.
No, I don't like the cunt. But
I mean, how do you really feel, Ginger? I mean, you're holding back.
Never have, never will. But when we did the podcast, it was such a success that the producer of Tiger King is doing a documentary on the same on Tracy Lords, and
oh no.
Her story, her book is nothing but lies. And we were all there, and we all saw and did things together. We know who did what with who and when, we were a very tight business. And her book is nothing but lies. So they're doing a documentary series on Tracy, and she's not in it. She refused to be in it, but I am.
The truth will come out.
Well, Christy Canyon is in it as well. I believe Randall's going to do it. I don't know if Nina will or not. Possibly Amberlynn. But they have like 20 or 30 people that knew her then that they're interviewing.
So is this going to be more of a maybe less documentary and more of an expose, you think? Like kind of unveiling of the truth, or?
Yes.
Oh,
That's what they've led me to believe. But you know how it is when you do documentaries, you never know what they're going to take that you've said or how it's going to come out.
Oh yeah.
I have no idea how I'm going to turn out. I might be the meanest person in the world if they cut it the right way.
right.
Or the wrong way.
Yeah,
And it'll come out
depending
like,
on the-
Ginger Lynn's so mean.
Isn't she's awful? She's really mean. She's horrible. She's not nice to anybody.
Oh, my
Hey,
God.
Angry Shih Tzu's watching.
Yes.
I gotta tell you. I want to ask you because I remember the first movie I ever saw you in. It stuck with me. So it's the first DVD I got of. It was Girls on Fire
Oh my God, with John Holmes?
with John Holmes.
John Holmes, yes. I loved doing Girls on Fire. Now, I'm trying to think. Girls on Fire is the one where he plays a woman, right?
Yes, he was in
Yeah.
drag. John
Drag.
Holmes in drag,
Yes.
and you found out he wasn't.
How
the
did
big?
how did you find out?
I was
You
just
lifted the
giving him-
stress.
I gave her a hug and I got poked in the tummy.
Wait a minute. And Harry Reams was in that too. I remember that
Harry
scene
Reams.
was hilarious because he made
was
the weirdest
so fun.
noises. He was
We'll see you, Gary. Thank you so much for stopping in and saying
thank
hello.
you, Gary.
Thank you.
Another question I wanted to ask you is: do you have any really strange requests from your OnlyFans that you're allowed to share without incriminating anybody?
No, my OnlyFans people are they request special videos a lot, and you can request whatever you want. And I get a lot of requests for foot fetish videos, jerk off instructions, anal play. Nothing really out of the ordinary, but I'm also on SexPanther.com, and there's a new function on SexPanther where it's video chat, so you can see the people that I can see on my phone who's calling and what they're doing, and so
you see before they answer? Before you answer?
No, you have
Oh.
no idea who you're gonna get. And so I answer the phone and I'm looking at it, and all it is a belly and a wiener, and he's just stroking it the whole time. Never said a word
Could have been Richie Byrne.
until he was done. It was like 4 minutes. He said thank you and then hung up on me. While I talked dirty too.
Wow. So you just went with it. You're a true professional. You just go in the moment.
It's fun, and I actually get turned on sometimes.
That's great.
Yeah. I things I shouldn't get turned on by sometimes. People will share intimate stories and things that, like, I'm not into pegging. Do you know what pegging is?
Is that when you do it to a guy?
Yeah, a girl with a strap on does a guy in the
Yeah,
butt.
I had a girl say to me, "I'll let you do whatever you want to me if you let me do you with the strap on." I said, "No."
No, yeah, I'm not into pegging, and I don't want to turn anybody off by saying this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I want my man to be my man, and somehow with me intruding into your body, it makes me feel like you're less of a man.
I get it. I totally get it.
Does that make? And I'm not a prude. You can tell. But that's just
You don't say.
Stop it.
But it's just.
I love that you're so open. It seems so healthy to be open.
I've always been this way. Even when I was a child, I've spoken my mind, said what I felt. I have no filter. When I get done with the interview, Nick is downstairs listening. He's going to go, "Why did you tell that story? Why did you?"
He was such a nice guy. I remember him from Rock and Shock.
Yeah, he's an angel.
Yeah, he does remind me of George Harrison, the look.
Yeah, he's got that look. He definitely does.
He does. He just seems like a kind person.
He's a very good man. He's my best friend.
That's what I have in my marriage. That's
Isn't
great.
that wonderful?
It is. Sorry, Justin. His wife is nice, but
no, I've been happily married for 4 years. We've been married for 8, but when you kind of chalk it all up, we've been happy for at least 4 of them. So that's good, right?
15% of the time, that's not bad.
Hey, we'll take it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You know what it is? Because I won't let her peg me. That's what it is.
Oh, don't blame you.
I think you're better off that way.
Yeah.
We still need to know who were the two that you did that did it to you.
Oh,
What?
the two people that fucked me.
Two
Yeah, I'd
people.
rather not say.
Oh, see, there you go. See where
Yeah, it's just I just don't. I'm
We gotta
having
respect
fun with
that.
you guys, and I want to keep it positive. And
Yeah.
they weren't positive experiences; they were horrible.
Well,
So
then we're not going to talk about that.
yeah, let's stay on the good
Yeah, we'll
stuff.
keep it positive. We'll talk about Christian Slater. I'm just still blown in awe.
I tied Christian Slater up with his belt, and I wouldn't let him to the bedpost, and I kept him tied up for about 3 hours.
Hey, Lulu.
Yeah, he had an amazing experience.
Good for him. I'm sure it was a treat to be on Young Guns. It's probably more fun than the movie itself.
We had a lot of fun.
Oh, good for you. Good for them.
Yeah, everybody, we all got along really well.
That's fantastic.
And I'm a giver, so it made me even more popular. Hey, I was there for 3 weeks, even though I'm literally in the film for a second. All you do is see me turn my head, and that's it. But I worked for 3 weeks, and they cut out. They had a 4-hour film when they were done, and so what they ended up doing was cutting out a lot of the female stuff, like Christian Slater steals Kiefer Sutherland's watch and gives it to me. I fall down a flight of stairs. I get run out of town. There's a lot of chick action that was in there, and it's all on the editing room floor. But I still get my royalty checks all the time, so I'm fine with that.
How cool is that? That's great. I still think Sid Haig had the best intro like for anybody to meet you. That's the way you want to meet Ginger Lynn. Just carried over by a sea of men, plopped down on the crotch.
Oh, it's funny. So when you watch the film, you'll notice you never see my left leg. It's straight out the side.
I got to be honest. I was never looking for your left leg when I watched the film, but now I'm going to have to.
In fact, he didn't know that you had a left leg. He just thought you didn't have one, and he was fine with it.
I love that movie. Was so poetic. The way he made you feel for these horrible people.
Yeah.
And the great use of the word the song Freebird at the end.
Oh my God. It's the best use of Freebird ever.
Because you just fell in love with these characters who are just horrible, horrible human beings.
Yes.
But they have such a love for each other. You almost connected with them. You were like, oh, what beauty there was in their love for each other.
Yeah, Rob really nailed it on that one. He's the hardest working man in Hollywood. I think he's always busy, always working. I did not his last film, but the last film of his that I did was 31.
31, that's right.
31, and I got to work with Richard Brake. But what happened was, I got up in the morning, and it was like 6:30. My call time was like 8. And Rob had sent me an entire new script. All of my dialogue, everything had changed. Everything was different. And Richard and we had one time that we got to do a run through. And so we did the run through, and Rob said, you know what? Go with that and then add whatever else you want. And in the original script, I played Doomhead's girlfriend. And we have a whole relationship and a whole thing that goes on. And all of that got cut out of the film. So now I'm just a whore in the film.
Real quick, I just want to give a shout out. I just saw in our comments that we actually just had a raid, and for those of you that are unfamiliar, that means a bunch of people came from one live stream over to our live stream. So hello, all of the raiders. Thank you so much for popping on over. And if you're just tuning in, we are talking with adult film icon and actress and artist extraordinaire Ginger Lynn.
Yay.
Welcome, everybody. Yay. Glad you're here. Thanks for coming over.
Welcome. Thank you for being here. I don't know. I'm almost out.
It's a
No,
good thing that he only has the shot from like the belly button up, because really he's pantless,
I knew that.
and that's it.
Yep.
We're gonna need a mop.
interview. I can't be. You know, her husband is watching. I have to behave myself.
Why start now, right?
Yorkshire Pudding Yorkshire Pud Gaming commented down below. Been trucking for 5 hours straight. My arse is hurting. Oh, we even a couple listeners from England. Lulu Lounge, Yorkshire Pud Gaming.
Wonderful.
That's
and,
great.
and don't worry, your arse isn't hurting because Ginger Lynn is pegging you. She's very against it. So.
And if I were to do it, I would be so gentle, just because I would be afraid to hurt somebody. Well, but I'm not going to peg, but I've got a new strap on. It's the kind that there's a piece that goes up inside of your pussy that holds it in, and then the cock comes out the other side. So there's no strap. It's a strapless.
Right.
Okay.
I've seen these.
It's beautiful, and I love it. And I put it in, and it stays there. And I've never had good rhythm with the strap on. You know, I've done girl scenes with strap ons, and I just suck at it. But I'm going to Christy. Like I said, Christy and I are at each other's house every other weekend. So I'm going to her house this weekend, and I'm going to do her with the strap on.
God bless.
For OnlyFans.
Or the strapless on.
Make sure.
Yeah, strapless on.
Do me a favor. Bring a picture of me and let her look at it while you're doing that, because it would help.
Absolutely.
I saw this in a shop. I was helping a friend pick out stuff for her OnlyFans page. And I saw this and I had to get a picture. Why couldn't they just use the regular? Like, who does it like this? What is the point of that?
Wait, hang on. I've got to make that full size because.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Fetish fantasy series. Why would he have it on his mouth? Why does he even need to do that? Why couldn't they have a woman using it?
You know what, though? That's kind of cool. I want to get one of those.
It's just a strap on.
Yeah, but for your face. No, I want to put on. I would love to do Christy with my face. I do her with my face all the time, but I mean with this, like it's like a Pinocchio nose.
A Pinocchio nose. That would be
fantastic. And I'll keep telling lies.
Oh wow!
I love it. Oh my goodness! I can almost smell the 120-page script writing itself.
Yeah, a friend of mine was telling me he was on this. He's a filmmaker, but he said when he started out, he was on a porn set in LA, and they were doing a double penetration scene. He said the smell was just awful from the scene. Is that normal?
I never had that experience, but I didn't eat like for a day before filming. I would never, I'd make sure that there was nothing in there to come out. So for me,
that's good.
I did quite a few double penetrations.
Does that actually? I mean, I'm sure you feel something, but is it pleasurable to do this?
I love double penetration, one in the ass, one in the pussy, and you can feel there's a very thin membrane between your pussy and your ass, so you can feel the cocks rubbing up against each other. It's not easy to do. You get 3 people in the same rhythm, but if you get it down right, it's so much fun. Absolutely love it.
# goals, Justin.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, what I don't like that I tried once and I would never do it again was double vag.
That just sounds painful. So that's less pleasurable than the other way, the DP.
DP is wonderful. Double vag is not fun at all. It's not my thing.
So now, would you say was it just not it? I want to try to not generalize. That's the thing, because I know that sexuality and enjoyment is very personal. So is that something that you hear generally in the industry, that it's not enjoyable, but people enjoy seeing it? Or are there people that really do enjoy it?
There are women who really do enjoy it. And the girls these days, they've got like a whole system. They have different size butt plugs, and they put them in, and they basically stretch their assholes out over a period of a couple of days. so they can take the bigger cocks in there. They'll do the same thing with their pussy. They'll put, 2 dildos in it, and they prep for it. They practice basically and get everything stretched out. So but there's girls that love it. There's girls that absolutely love it. I'm just too tiny. I'm a little person. So
you were saying you're 5'2", right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you are tiny.
I am.
You're the same size as my wife, which is great. Perfect. Anytime you're in New Jersey, you let me know.
Absolutely. Well, I probably will be there doing some sort of convention in the near future. When we've already started back up doing conventions here in Vegas. I've done one. I've got another one coming up, the Days of the Dead in May. And then I'm going to be going to Miami in the summer.
Where's Days of the Dead? I've heard of that.
Days of the Dead, downtown Las Vegas. I can't remember the name. It was a brand new hotel that they just built that we had our convention in, and I can't remember the name of it.
I guess conventions will be starting again.
Yeah, well, what they did was they only let 50 people in at a time. So it was nice. You had the luxury to spend more time with your fans because there could only be so many in there at one time. And I felt safe. I wasn't, I'm not getting on a plane. I'm not flying anywhere.
Right.
When I film, I test every 3 days for the virus, for Corona. And, I just, before I do anything, I get tested.
Oh, that's smart. That's good.
Yeah.
And no, I was not looking to do that with my OnlyFans. that didn't start yet.
1 a.m. in the UK.
Yeah, there's people watching.
That's right. It's 1 a.m. in the UK, and what better way than to spend it with Justin and Jason and an adult movie legend? I agree. This is better than channel 908 on UK free TV. If you know what you know.
Or I have a load of kids or a 9-pounder. Lulu Lounge is one of our favorite regulars in England. Does Ginger know Alan Stevens? He's on tomorrow with one of the original. Oh yeah, Alan Stevens was one of Sam Kinnison's original outlaws. So was Carl LeBove.
The name is not ringing a bell. But again,
I'm sure you met a lot of people.
I met a lot of people, and we did a lot of blow in the 80s. That's just what we did. So
there's only so many names you can remember in a blizzard.
Yeah, and the Comedy Store, that was one of the places that you went if you partied. There'd be people doing lines on the tables, just right out with comedians on the stage. It was no big deal. The bathrooms were always full of people, guys in the girls' bathroom, girls in the guys' bathroom. Everybody was partying. I
wonder if I would have given in. I have turned down because I'm a hypochondriac. I am worried about doing anything. I drink and then I worry, should I have had that drink? It'll slow my heart rate. Oh my God. But I was with 2 beautiful women in Old City, Philadelphia years ago, and they said, come on, let's go to the bathroom. I'm like, what? Why? And I said no, and it killed the whole mood for the night. I ruined what could have been a beautiful evening because I decided not to do it. It could have been for the better. Maybe things happen for a reason, but I ruined it.
Yeah, I haven't done it in decades, but it was I was on the permanent guest list at the Playboy Mansion, so I was there every single weekend. And there was bowls of it, it was just everywhere, and everybody did it, and it was so pure and clean and fresh back then that it was actually fun.
I bet. I can't imagine what it's like to be to be a huge celebrity in LA in the 80s.
It was a blast. I had so much fun. And I got to meet a lot of amazing, wonderful people. I've had a really good life. I'm one of those people that, there's nothing on my bucket list that I haven't done. There's one thing, but my bucket list is all checked off.
I'm still here, Ginger. I'm still here.
Jason, how did you know that you were on my bucket list?
Wait, is that the bucket list or the fuck it list? I can't remember.
Mine's probably more of a bucket list.
Speaking of bucket list experiences, wanted to know, wow, you must have so many amazing stories from the Playboy Mansion.
Do you remember one? If you don't, I totally understand.
This is my favorite story. As I said, I was on the permanent guest list, so I could go there on a Tuesday afternoon at 3:00 if I wanted. So I called up Marilyn, and she have secretary, and I said, I've got my grandma in town. I want to bring my grandma to the mansion. So we go during the day because I don't want her to see all the partying and everything that goes on. And I show her the zoo, and I show her the this and that and everything that there, the grotto, and I just take her around the entire mansion. And because I was so used to being there, and Hef's girlfriend Carrie Lee was my lover for 2 years, so I was really a regular there, and I was always up in Hef's bedroom. I was there a lot, and so I didn't think twice about taking my grandma up the stairs to the bedroom. And we're on our way up, and the walls had these little indent curvatures where you would put a little statue or something. Yeah, there were like 4 of them. And my grandma, bless her heart, I love my grandma. There was a bowl of peanuts, and she took the bowl of peanuts and poured the peanuts into her purse. There was a little notepad with Hef's initials and a pen. She stole the pen and the paper. And then I hear over the microphone, over the intercom, Ginger, please return to the main floor with your grandmother.
Oh, God.
And then one other story of the mansion. I never fucked Hef, but as I said, I fucked his girlfriend. I was wondering that. Yeah, but I fucked his girlfriend a lot. And so I'm over there one night, and she and I are fooling around, and we're on the bed, and we're going at it. And Hef walks out, and he's wearing a black bodysuit with a skeleton painted on it and a hole cut out for his wiener. And I just thought it was the most bizarre. It was the weirdest thing ever. It was just going, this is pretty bizarre.
The shit you've seen, my God. There'll never be another era like that.
No, there won't. I'm so grateful that I was in it when I was in it.
Yeah. And we're grateful for all the stories that you shared with us today. And we're getting to that time where we have to start thinking about wrapping up, which I hate because this has been so much fun.
It has been a blast. You guys are great. Thank you so much for having me on.
That means a lot for coming from you, seriously. And not, because of who you are, but because you also had a radio show. So, there's always that level of intimidation. Oh, we're getting, no, you can't finish yet. I was just wondering.
I'm just saying, if I'm saying I'm gonna finish, I'm gonna finish. I do not have those sorts of skills.
No, you can't finish. That's something my wife says to me on a regular basis. No, you can't finish yet.
Lulu, I was just warming up. Oh my, oh my.
Wow. It is 1 a.m. The English fans are randy at the moment.
I can believe it.
Well, I'll have to come back on another time.
I would love that, Ginger.
And especially, again, because you have some new things that are coming up. I want to just do the plugs for you. We're going to keep you in the big box real quick. And again, we're going to go from mild to wild real quick. So if you want to enjoy more of Ginger's art, you can go to gingerlynnart.com. If you want to hear more of her opinions and thoughts, you can go over to her Twitter at Blame It On Ginger. You can go to her Patreon, patreon.com/Who Let the Girls Out.
I thought it said hold the girls out. I couldn't figure out what that meant. I said, well, that's supposed to be whore? I couldn't figure it out.
It's me. Chris Canyon and I have our own podcast, and it's called Who Let the Girls Out.
Oh.
And it's more up on Patreon. It's hysterical. You will laugh so hard you'll pee your pants. You'll get turned on, definitely. And once in a while, you might gag a little bit. Just go, oh, no, it didn't.
Well, there you go.
Who Let the Girls Out.
It's a full service show.
It is.
And then after Patreon, we have the Cameo. So go to cameo.com and reach out to Ginger Lynn. She can do a nice video for you. Or you can go to sextpanther.com/ginger-lynn, and you can really get up close and personal. And in the same vein, onlyfans.com/blame it on Ginger. So these are all the ways that we can get in touch with our newest best friend, Ginger Lynn.
Yay.
Do you want to share an encore story before we go? Do you have anything you haven't told that you like, a Christy Canyon story you love, or one of your favorite porn memories?
I'll tell you a little. I'm going to do a little tell on Christy. No, Christy and I are very, very, very close, and so and she always falls asleep before I fall asleep before she does. She stays up and watches TV. I go to bed early, and so in the mornings I get up first and I go in and get my coffee, and then I come back into the bedroom and crawl into bed with her and kind of spoon. You know, she's naked, and so I climb up behind her. And I was over there a couple weeks ago, and I snuggled up behind her, and she tooted on me.
Justin, you did that to me, remember?
We could not stop laughing.
Oh my God. I remember. That reminds me, I'm sorry. We have one of our cats was walking in between Laura and I. She was sleeping, her back was to me. He was just kind of creeping in between us, and she farted at that moment when he was walking by right by her butt, and he jumped and started smacking her in the ass. Like, what the hell was that? What came out of there?
I've got a 141-pound Rottweiler. You want something that smells bad? Oh my God! Oh my God! He weighs way more than I do. He's a big boy.
Oh.
Jeez Louise. Well, I think on that note, which is a brown note.
Ginger, you were a delight, and I love that you're so open and comfortable sharing these stories. You're just the best. Thank you again.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you for thinking of me and having me on. You guys are both great.
Oh, you're the best.
All right. Well, hit me up again sometime, and we'll do a continuation.
Love it.
All right.
All right. Thanks, and take care of yourself. And
Thank
best
you.
to Nick.
I'll give my best to Nick. What's your wife's name?
Laura.
Give my best. Give Laura a big sloppy wet one for me.
You got it. Thank you.
On that note, bye.
All right. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.